Now, Karandish, so you're one of my close friends when I did my residency in Brooklyn, New York. And for me, the residency is a peculiar kind of experience. Let me explain why. Because I came from Bangladesh. Like me, almost all our residents in Interfaith Medical Center are foreign medical graduates. They are the star of their home country because they are the best. That's why they were able to come to New York to start the residency. So I feel myself proud to work with so many talents in Interfaith Medical Center. Although I work in many different places, but I haven't found that so many talented people in a single place. Interfaith was very talented in terms of its residency pool. Everybody has a different kind of expertise. Some were very good students, some were very good leaders, but some were a very good person, wise and well-balanced. So among the Interfaith resident, I would find you as a mature, dependable, trustworthy, and like wise senior brother. So although many people treated many other people differently because everybody is new, nobody knows anybody. So there is a learning curve to get to know the people. But by the time you work with somebody for sometimes 4 months, 5 months, you know that person well, and you gradually come to realize, yes, that particular person, although he is a little bit weak in terms of leadership, he might be a very good student. Although somebody is not so good student, but they're very good in other respect. So I discovered you as a business person because many people talked about you that you have a very successful business back home in Iran. I think you will introduce yourself and I would like to learn more about you, but I'm just giving you a background for my viewers. And you have some couple of business. So I was surprised that why a successful person is abandoning all his success to do this kind of residency, because residency is a very hard job. And not many people like to do it because it's like a children's play. You have to learn everything from the basic. You have to listen to the nurses. You have to listen to the technicians. You're nobody. But I was surprised that you are humble enough to start the residency from the very beginning, although you are very successful. And I would say one of the richest person that I personally know. So in that background, Dr. Karandish, why not you introduce yourself?
Thank you for invitation, and I appreciate you. And it's my pleasure to be in your interview with you. And you know, when I look at my life, I see that life is about achievement. How you can be successful, how you can be the best of yourself. And if you are in one line successful and you experience something and you are inside the box, then you are in that part, you are complete. Now you have to come out of the box. You need to take risks, you need to experience the new things, and you start to get new experience, and you should be ready. That's the reason I was ready to experience everything from the scratch.
Okay.
And so, I started in Interfaith.
Exactly. So Dr. Karandish, can you give us a little bit of your background growing up and your childhood and how you become the person you are today? It's a very short sketch.
Sure. I grew up in a underserved community, in a family with 6 brothers and sisters. And I experienced a lot of things in the street, the park, and living with regular people, normal people. And from the first day that I recognized myself, I knew that I have a mission. And I had an agreement with myself that you should do something. You don't want it to be just like other people. I totally respect for all people, but they have they are living inside a box, and they are living with the ceiling for most of the people in the world, for 95% of people in the world, the ceiling is very short, and they feel comfortable in it. Starting on my childhood, I felt that I'm not comfortable in that ceiling. I want the sky should be the limit, and I can experience more. Then I started to look at who are the successful people around me, and I started to mimic them. I started to read books. I remember the main thing that changed my life is reading books. I remember when I was like at 12 years old, I used to study like sometimes 20 small books that they're for children, that there are less pages and they're more fun and they have so many pictures on it. And I used to read those books a lot. And I think those books changed my life. And after that, in middle school, I started to read about philosophy and in very depth of it. And it helped me a lot as well. And it changed me to a person that you see now. That's a very brief explanation.
So you responded to your inner calling, that you always felt that you can be a bigger person that you are now. And because your calling was sincere, you listened to it and you responded appropriately by observing what the other successful people are doing. That's the basic idea I understand as far as you are telling me. Okay, that's an inspiring thought. And most of the people, especially who are young, actually have that kind of calling. But the problem is many people doesn't have the courage to respond and do whatever needed to be done to achieve whatever their inner calling is trying to direct. Sometimes people get some like inspiration, but they are fearful. Can I do it? Am I adequate? Am I be able to do the difficult thing because I might be insignificant? But as far I can understand, almost everybody is insignificant when they're a child. But all the successful people who become successful later, they do things that makes a big difference. And sometimes some decisions are more important than other. So in your life, what are the important decisions, I would say turning points that helped you to reach in a position that you are today? Important turning points.
Yeah, if I understood the question correctly, I think in my life, one of my teachers changed my inner talk. One day that teacher told me that you're going to be a very successful person when I was in second degree in the school. And she told me that you're going to be very successful, Saeed. And I think this conversation changed my inner conversation. And after that, something in me started to grow. And I see that still that light is on, and I think that, I should do something, and I should do something better and more for myself and for other people. And this is an inner conversation now that is very established, very strong after years, and it really changed my life. And I really owe to that nice and intelligent teacher that changed my life.
So as I can understand, you were already a successful person back in Iran. For example, you are already a doctor. And I understand you published several books. One of the books was from biochemistry in Lippincott, published by Lippincott. So that's a prestigious publication. And it's a book still available in Amazon. So my question is, what motivated you to change your career from Iran to America?
Life is about opportunities. And when you are, the smaller the area that you live, the less opportunities that you may experience. And now it's time to change the environment. And now it's time, and you need to recognize those moments in your life that you need to use it. You know, those moments are not a lot. Sometimes it comes, if you don't take it, you're going to lose it. And in one of those moments, I realized that I'm able to move to another place to experience new opportunities. And although I was very successful in that country, I preferred to change it and start it from the scratch and see new people, new type of life, new type of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And in medicine, different type of medicine, much more elegant medicine, and learn more and deeper in medicine. That was a huge change in my life, and I'm so glad that I chose it in that time.
So was it, well, I don't think it was easy, but I'm just asking the question. Was it easy for you to move from your country to US? Because I know as a physician, you're already established, you're practicing, you have your colleagues, you have your connection, your patient pools, etc., etc. So somebody doesn't want to abandon their practice and come to a new country where nobody knows you. So plus coming here also needs some requirement to be fulfilled. For example, some exams, some immigration, etc., etc. So was it easy for you, or was it still difficult, but you took the challenge?
I think it was really challenging because, as you know, immigration has so many different aspects. And when you come to the country, you need to, be separated from the things that you love, from your home, from your family, from your language that you used to talk with it very fluently, the culture that you know it very well, and the environment that you know very well. And as far as business, when you have established business, you already know that, your life is guaranteed as far as financial needs. And for sure, it's very difficult to just stop all of those experiences and start a new life in another place with a new experience. Just, for me, it was not just immigration, because I needed to start to read the whole medicine from the scratch. I need to go to the basic science in medicine after like 30 years, 20 years, and read everything and participate in a challenging, difficult board exams in US that you know how difficult it is and how challenging it is. And I think at the end, it's really worth it. And although it's like someone that climbs to the mountain, and when that person goes to the top of the mountain, they feel that, oh my God, now it's really worth it. Mm-hmm. And I think if people take a chance and take a risk and challenge their abilities and go a little further, that they never get disappointed. And even if they can't be successful in one experience, they learn it for other experiences. And at the end, this type of people, they are much more successful comparing to those people that they are just limited to a box.
Exactly. So far, by your upbringing and challenge you already faced and coming to US, that already tells me whatever you already told me at the very beginning, that you have to think outside the box. You have to be determined to do better, and you have to take inspiration from other people's good work. And you have to respond to your own inner calling that I have to do something bigger. And in order to be successful, these are the things I need to do, and you have to stick with it. This is the simple formula, but unfortunately, many people, even though they know this is the real simple formula, but they don't follow through. They don't follow their own plan. They fall off. by life's hustle and bustle, necessity, then sometimes personal preference, sometimes little bit of shyness. Some people are a little bit shy to take risk. They are not, because every successful business always builds on taking some calculated risk. Without taking risk, there cannot be any gain, significant gain. So let's move on to the next part to our conversation. Now, I'll be asking you some very specific questions regarding how to be a successful entrepreneur. Now, my question is, general people has a little bit of suspicious attitude towards the entrepreneur. They think, oh, entrepreneurs are just the rich people exploiting others. They're getting rich by exploiting others. But in your opinion, is this a right way of thinking towards the entrepreneurs?
I think it's unfair to those people that they are successful. Most of them, they think different. This is a way of thinking. In some studies, they have seen that if people, if they give a lot of money to a person, that his mindset is poor. In a few months, the person gonna spend that money and stay in the same level that he used to be. And even they saw in people that they win lotto and they get millions of dollars. After 1 year, they see that, oh my God, they are at the same place that they were like 2 years ago. And it means that being successful, being rich is a mentality. It's not about how much money you have or if you inherit some money from your family. Of course, it's easier if someone has it, but imagine how many people they have that inheritance. And most of those people that they have those money, they just waste those money. I'm not telling all of them, but most of them, they waste that money. The real successful people in life, if you see like 90% of them, they are people that they started on their own abilities. Mm-hmm. And they were strong people, and they, all of us, they have fear. If we can pass that fear, life starts. And I see most of them successful people in that limit. And another secret is thinking differently. If you go the same way, the same routes that other people go, you get the same result. Then you need to think differently. In business, you need to think different. In publishing book, you think different. And now, especially with this improvement and in this success that human being has had in social media, now people have a lot of unlimited abilities through the social media, and they can start it, they can use it, they can make a successful life for themselves. There's so many routes, just they need to open the eyes and look at it and find it.
Exactly. So back to your question that I asked, that just because somebody is entrepreneur doesn't actually mean they are just exploiting other people to get rich. My own idea is most of the successful entrepreneur, their original idea is to provide a creative service or creative product. And because the inventor or the initial person who proposed that idea thinks this particular product or this particular service will bring value to human life or community, so it will be accepted. And because I'm putting my time and effort, so it needs to grow. So that's the business model. But most of the creative person who actually becomes successful entrepreneur, at their core, they have a product. They have a good product, that they have an innovative, new, like life-changing or world-changing or society-changing product. Down the road, once the business gets better and bigger, eventually some people will get exploited. That's the side effect, but that's not the original goal. So for the newcomer who wants to be an entrepreneur, don't feel shy or ashamed that you are just doing business for money. No. Money is secondary. As you mentioned, money is, if the money is the whole thing, if you give money $1 million, the person remains the same. It's the thinking, it's the creative, innovative thinking that makes a big difference. Okay, we agree upon that. Let's move to our next topics. Okay, now, in order to become a successful, either a doctor or scientist, or if you already have a good career, do you still have to think as if you are an entrepreneur to become successful in this current world? Suppose, Dr. Karandish, for example, you are already a good physician here because you already finished internal medicine residency, and I believe you already just finished your nephrology fellowship. So you are a very well qualified doctor. But do you think, in addition to that background, any free thinker, outside of box thinker, still need to be having some entrepreneurship in their mind? So what's your take on that?
I think this method of thinking starts from childhood and it continues the whole life. It doesn't matter what's your business. Even if you have business, maybe someone is a housewife and she can make a different type of thinking, and she make all the house like a beautiful place full of new designing, full of flowers or different things. There are so many ways that it works for everybody, not just in business. Mm-hmm. And the secret is that you need to be an entrepreneur in all aspects of your life, even when how you treat your children, how you start your career. When you graduate as a medical doctor, now you have to start working with people as an owner of business or as an employee of someone in a hospital. Then you need to know how you can be the best person in that hospital, how you can be the most successful doctor in that hospital, how you can be the best doctor to manage your patients. And if you have your own practice, then you need to know a lot of people's skills. You need to have good connection with people. You need to know business very well, and you need to think differently because in the market there are always so many competitions that if you don't know the market, you don't know the business, even if you are a doctor, you're going to be poor, and you will be you won't be successful. And being a doctor is not good enough to be successful. You need more things, and you need to have more tools. You have to have a toolbox, and when you are facing a problem, how you can manage that situation.
As a doctor, I can tell, for example, as long as I'm young and physically fit, I can still work. And as long as I work, I earn a decent living. But the problem is the expenditure is so high, you can barely save significant amount of money for your retirement. So your retirement is always up in the air. Unless you plan ahead, you'll be poor by the time of retirement. So that's the problem, even for physician, and even for other profession like computer scientist or any professional. So just by having a job doesn't guarantee a financial freedom. And as you know, creativity comes from freedom. So if you're strangled and you're restrained by your work all the time, and you don't have any freedom to think, and you don't have freedom to create anything, you'll be stuck in the same cycle over and over again. By that time, you'll recognize, oh, I'm getting old, it's time to retire, but I don't have enough money to retire even. So I would agree with you that just by having a good profession currently doesn't guarantee you will survive at the age of your retirement. So you have to think a little bit like a free thinker, like outside the box, in other terms, like an entrepreneur. Now, you tell me, Dr. Karandish, as a physician, what are the entrepreneur opportunity we have? For example, you advising directly to me. You know, I'm a hospitalist, I'm working full-time. So what are the opportunity in this current world we have for the physician to be entrepreneurs?
That's a very good question, and I appreciate you asked it. Now, because of the COVID situation and the new attention toward the Zoom and the conversation through the video chats, now doctors are using televisit. And regardless where do you work and in which state do you work, you can work as a you can see patients in your particular field as a televisit. And as far as I know, there is no limitation to have televisit in different states, and it doesn't require that license for that state, and you can order medication from different pharmacies in different states, and that's a good thing. You don't need to have license for Florida to order medication in that state. You can just simply order it with your MPI number, and it's legal in this country and it's accepted. Then you have your own time, and you can simply earn money. You can have your own clinic, and you can start to see patients and have extra money and establish a new online clinic.
So for a doctor, the greatest obstacle to set up a clinic, like infrastructure, but with the telehealth architecture, everything is already inside the telehealth portal. For example, there are many websites, they already started, UberDoc, telehealth, teledoc, etc., etc. So inside that portal, patient can schedule, you can make appointment, you can advise them, you can send prescription. It's like one-stop, all-inclusive service. Yeah, that's a great opportunity. I think with the COVID situation, people have access, although telehealth has been on the market for last 10 years probably, but with the coronavirus situation, people are now acceptable for them that just because I haven't seen by a physical person, video chat is actually more than good enough. As long as I have the Apple Watch temperature check, the doctors can see the rash, for example, and they can ask question. If there is a nurse nearby, they can check the vitals and etc. So it's as good as if the physician is in the bedside. So that's a great, great opportunity. But in addition to that, any other business venture that you can think of for a physician? Then we'll go to other general people's opportunities. But for physician, one of them is telehealth. Anything else?
There are so many different ways still besides telehealth that physicians can be active, can be known, well known. That I know a lot of physicians that during COVID, they are active on social media, and we have a free, good opportunity on YouTube. And a lot of doctors, they go on YouTube and they have their own channels and they communicate with people about different diseases. And now publishing a book is much easier comparing to before. And physicians can publish books and they can provide it for their colleagues or for patients. And I see a lot of opportunities there. Like look at the telehealth. Now every day there is a new gadget that comes that Medicare pays for it. And for example, now they have the scales that you weigh yourself at home, and every day it shows in your file and your chart. And you have a blood pressure machine that it measures your blood pressure, and you can see your blood pressure, and your doctor can see the blood pressure in the office, and all of them gets recorded. The same thing for blood sugar, and there are other things that they are coming, they are on the way. Then People can go and physicians can go to all these new fields. All of these fields are new, and there are a few physicians are involved in these things. Then there is a very broad area that the physicians can go there, can experience their creativity, and I'm sure that they're going to be successful. And that's a pleasant experience. There's so many opportunities.
I agree. There's so many opportunity. The only problem, judging by myself, I can see people tends to get comfortable with their existing situation. For example, right now I'm working, so I'm earning a decent salary. So I don't want to take any risk. So as you mentioned, without any risk, there will be no profit or no success. You have to take some calculated risk. So it's a matter of personal preference. If you really want to do something bigger than yourself, you have to think outside the box again, and you have to follow your imagination. Okay, now let's go back to more general ideas. We are physicians. We're comfortable. We're not much concerned about the financial situation right now. Suppose somebody is financially struggling, like a fresh college graduate. For them, now, although number of job opportunity is already shrinking down because of coronavirus, but at the same time, new kind of job is opening up, like telehealth, teleconference, webinar, this architecture, social media manager, commercial preparation, graphics designer, YouTube, blogger, etc., etc. So out of all these opportunities, in order to be successful for a young person, what are the top 4 advice you will give? Suppose you have a young brother of 21-year age. He's neither a doctor nor an engineer, just an educated person with common sense. Now, what kind of advice you give to that young person?
I think I should direct them toward the new world. New world is about internet. It's not like before that General Motors was the first, top money maker in the world. Now, companies like Apple or whatever is related to internet is the best, like Facebook, Apple, Instagram, and other things. And the same way for other people in lower level that they can, I suggest them to start experiencing and learning in this field. And the first step is to learn how to make a website. Now is the century of the websites, and all people need to have a website. And the more you know about making a website is a service that you needed for yourself, and also a lot of people around you need your service. And whatever is related to that, like making videos, short videos on the website. Whatever is about website, whatever is about the internet, whatever is about programming, even in a lower level, I suggest people that they go toward that side. I know that mechanic engineer is good, making bridges are good, being an engineer in different fields are good. But if they are not in those fields, it's better to go toward the internet. The future is in internet. And the sooner they go, the better. And they need to do it with their heart, with their passion, full passion, not just because of money. If you do something for money, you are not going to be successful. And they realize the successful people are people that they work for their passion, not for the money. Money is on the way. You're going to receive money if you work with passion. If you learn it days and nights and put time and go to that direction, you're going to be successful. And we need to remember that there are not so many people that they go to that route. And that's the difference of successful people with no regular people. Imagine Edison when he invented electricity or light. There are so many people who are living in dark. And he was the one that were thinking, oh, let me make something different. And he tried and experienced for 100 times, failed and failed and failed, but he learned from each failure something. He stand up again and experienced again. And finally, he made something that changed the whole world.
Exactly.
Then I'm thinking that there are so many ways. Now these ways are mostly in internet side.
Exactly. So you mentioned, I want to emphasize that particular point, that programming, because when I was just learning the computers in our peer, among our friends, there was a competition who can type faster and who can use the keyboard faster. Because at that time there was a job who is a professional typewritist, because not many people could write by using the keyboard. So learning the keyboard was one of the craze when I was kids, like I was studying class 8 or class 9 at that time. But now I would strongly suggest, if anybody can learn anything new, they have to study a programming language, either C++ or Python or something better, like something more modern. Because even in social media, even in internet, those people who can program, they can make a custom website, like brand new, with new functionality, more user-friendly, more application inside the website. So if you learn, instead of studying a second language like French or Spanish, yeah, learning language is important. Yes, if you can afford, go ahead. But I would suggest, if you have the opportunity to learn one extra language other than your mother tongue, like English, I would suggest learn a programming language. That will definitely help in the world of internet, artificial intelligence, machine learning, website, application build-up, or optimization of existing system. Or even better, I would suggest financial world, like trading, like Wall Street. They're all calculation based, and all this calculation is mostly algorithmic. So algorithmic programming is a new way of running the business actually. So I would agree with you to stick with your plan, be creative, and learn from your own mistake, persist, and learn something that you can see in future has the edge, like programming language or something. Okay. So now, as a foreigner, because I consider myself still a foreigner, because I got the green card, but I'm not an American citizen yet. So those people who come here as a foreigner, can they be an entrepreneur here in United States? What's your idea?
I think they have more opportunity, and those people, because they are coming with a total set of tools in their toolbars. I mean that they are coming from back home, that they have some skills and experiences that people never experienced them in United States. Then I think those people have by far more chances to be a successful entrepreneur. Then it's the plus sign and not the minus sign. And those people can be more successful. And as you see, a lot of successful people that are coming from other countries, either they themselves or their family are originally coming from another country. Then I see a lot of chances for foreigners. And I see that they can be more successful, even better than people that are born in this country.
Exactly. You mentioned outside box thinking. As a foreigner, you already have an outside box thinking when you're growing up outside United States. So you're bringing that outside of the box thinking here So you have to utilize it. The problem is because of the legal restriction, immigration, legalities, not many foreigners are actually open to become entrepreneur. But if they are aware that they can still do it, then they will feel motivated. That's why we're talking about it. So yes, based on your recommendation, actually, they are already in better position and better chance to have successful business here if they start early, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about future planning. Future planning is a part of being financially stable and independent. Future planning means investment. Although investment is such a big concept, but we will be very simple and just we'll try to define the concept to the person who didn't consider investment as important part of their life. So do you think every American, every person who is living in America has to have a long-term investment plan or a retirement plan?
I agree to have long-term investment plan, but I see a little different from my point of view is different because I see if you be the creator of a system, if you can be a creator of a system, you are always the winner. If there is already a system there, there are smarter people there sitting there and they have plan for your money. And even you can have some profits out of your money, but there are smarter people since decades ago that they got more sophisticated to earn more out of your money for themselves. I'm suggesting if you can create something by yourself that is your product, and it can be intelligent product, it can be more successful rather than you use other people's services. Otherwise, you can have, if you don't have this ability, then you can go and use other services that other people make it. And of course, there is less profit and more risk if you rely on other people system.
Exactly. Very excellent point. Actually, not many people will understand what you just said in one short minute. I will explain it to the general people because my audience might not understand exactly what you just said. You're saying investment for future as a preparation for retirement is essential. But the problem is if you plan only for retirement, for example, if you keep your money in 401k or your individual retirement account, what will happen? Other smart people will invest that money and will get rich, and they will give only a small fraction of that profit. So at the end, you will get only a small percentage, and the greatest beneficiary is the person who will use your money for their own benefit. So that's approach number one. If you have no other choice, that's the minimum option you have. But the better option is to think of something so that you have full control and knowledge what kind of investment, what kind of business you are developing, so that you can be still simultaneously become a successful entrepreneur. And as a byproduct, your retirement is already ready, because your business success already gives you your retirement planning. So you don't have to think separately of your retirement planning. So I think that was the thing you wanted to say, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So we are in the same page. Good. I think being a successful businessman yourself and being a physician who works as a full-time, how do you balance your personal life, your family life, and your business all together? Give us some tips.
I think time management is the main thing, main skills. that most of people, they underestimate it. And the main key is structuring your system in a way that you use your time as efficient as possible. Mm-hmm. And the main secret is you need to wake up early. And that's the magic part of the day. If you can wake up at 5:30, you can, or 6 a.m. maximum. 5:30 or 6 a.m., you're going to have a very good day because you can do a lot of things in that 2 hours, first 2 hours of the day without interruption. Mostly when people work during the day, for every single thing, they have to interrupt at least 5 or 6 times, either by social medias. If you work in a place, you get interrupted by your colleagues, with your family members. Other things happens, people that call you, call from the work or other things. But in first 2 hours of morning, if you can make a lot of good things out of it. Waking early, and also one of the main things that people, entrepreneurs, are aware of it, they never postpone important things. If something is important and you feel that you're anxious about it, you need to do it first. You need to do it faster. If you don't do it, every day you think about it. In the middle of the day, you think that, oh my God, I missed that. What if I forget it? And always part of your mind is busy with that. Always start with important and urgent things. Never postpone them. Mm-hmm. If you need to pay something and it's going to be past due, you need to do it now, not tomorrow. And early, you can talk to your friend tomorrow. It's better to, sometimes we know that we need to prioritize our time. And we need to see which one is the best. And another thing is you need to always have some times for yourself, for spending with family, with yourself, fun time, good time, even 5 minutes listening to music, talking with a good friend, talking to family members is very helpful and is very healthy. Otherwise, people get burned out. People get burned out and get exhausted. They work, but they feel that something is wrong. They feel pressure on their muscles. Mm-hmm. On the skin of the face, they feel pressure. They feel chronic tiredness. They feel that they are not themselves. Everything is good. They are rich. They earn money, but they are not in good mood. They don't feel good. They don't sleep good. And to make a conclusion, I can tell that the main thing is time management. One of the main key in success is time management.
Exactly. I would clarify for the viewers that many simple-minded viewer might think the successful entrepreneur, their life is so easy, they don't have to do anything. They can just enjoy their life. This is not actually the truth. A successful person is still very busy, but they enjoy working because it's productive, it's creative, and it's good for the society. So that keeps them working hard. So just to clarify misconception, a successful rich person is not lazy and not doing anything, not like that. They're still working hard, but they enjoy their work and they're very methodical. And as you pointed out, their time management is highly efficient. They don't waste any time. So I think our conversation is very useful for the newcomer, and they can know that a successful entrepreneur can be a normal person, just like you, but still very successful because they follow some simple principle. So I think it was very useful for any general audience who listen to this. And thank you, Dr. Karandish, to explain and share your experience with us.
Thank you.
So this is the balance, how to be politically correct, still as frank as possible so that people will get the benefit. So this is my goal. Okay, I think Dr. Karandish, we'll do it again roughly in a month. And meanwhile, I'll do some brainstorming. And once we mutually agree upon that this might be a good topic, you are interested and I'm interested, then we'll spend another 1 hour like this and it will be a good productive hour, right?
And I think the subject of emotional problems with COVID or psychology things about COVID or philosophy think about COVID is a good area that we can talk about it next time.
Exactly, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be prepared and I'm going to see each other soon.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you for agreeing, Karandish.
Oh, sure.
You're a busy man. But still, I think the thing we are doing is a kind of public service. As you know, most of the other podcasts or other channels, typically they have a commercial advertisement or to product to sell. Sometimes they publish a book, sometimes they publish a magazine, sometimes they invite other people to put their commercials. But our channel is completely non-monetized. That's number one. So the kind of thing we'll talk will be little bit different than other podcasts, I hope.
Yes.
So I think it will be good. Yeah, Mama is calling me. Bye. Thank you, Karandish. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
I really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you.